Welcome back. If you've just joined us, our guest in this episode of Question Time is the Director General of the Budget Office, Aliyu Gusau. Don't go away. We can also see a possible reduction on the volume of oil production declining from 2.7 million barrels per day to 2.2 million barrels per day. So what explains that?
Well, again, the volume of oil produced is determined by the international demand for it. And so if you don't have enough demand, that would definitely lead to a slowdown in the amount of volume that you produce. But then at times you have shut-ins and some challenges that may appear. But generally, I think what is happening is most likely to be more affected by the exogenous factors of the international oil market. If you have a fall in the demand for Nigerian oil, then by implication, you need to do some little cutback on the production.
From all indications, Mr. President seems to be spending more. And he's also talking about reduction in cost of governance. So how do you explain this?
Well, the issue to do with that is if you want to grow out of your problems, you need to spend more, particularly in the critical sectors. Now, over the years, a larger chunk of the budget has been more in favor of recurrent expenses rather than the capital expenses. And so the major hike in the size of the budget is to pump money into critical infrastructure, because that's the only way we can grow out of our problems. The cost of doing business in this country is too high, but you need power, you need roads, you need alternative ways of transportation. And these are the areas that the government is looking at in pumping the additional funding being allocated to the budget. It is not going to recurrent. We need to save this country, and the only way is to grow the critical infrastructures.
The president is also seeking an upward review of the loan from 882 billion naira to 2.1 trillion naira. That seems the president is also disposed to borrowing more.
Taking a loan is not bad in itself. And the important thing is to have a good borrowing plan on ground and to ensure that these loans are going to be judiciously used for things that are critical to growing the economy. And I believe that is the type of thinking of the current administration, that they need to grow the economy. But to grow the economy, you need to spend. And of course, the thing that I am a bit happy about is this appears to be a very responsible government. And so I sincerely believe that when they borrow these funds, they would ensure that these funds are used judiciously. If I didn't believe in such, I don't think I would have been sitting here telling you some of these things. I sincerely believe this is a serious and committed government, and with judicious use of these resources, we would begin to get out of our problem, because you need to think out of the box. And if you don't have enough money, even you as an individual, if you don't have enough money to turn around your life, and you get a chance to take a loan, you can as well, for example, go and buy 3 taxi cabs if you have done your feasibility well, and you sincerely believe in the drivers, that at the end of the day, you'll get back the correct returns. And so when you have such type of issues on ground, and you are sure of yourself and you believe in judicious use of the resources, not for consumption, but for capital use, which would have horizontal and vertical integrations, I don't necessarily see anything bad in borrowing. It just depends on who is doing the borrowing, what it is going to be used for, and who is ensuring that it is being used for what it is supposed to be used for.
Now let's look at the shortfall from the decline of oil prices. How is this likely to affect the economic outlook in the coming days?
Well, your guess is as good as mine there. And the thing that has happened is, of course, the supplementary budget that has been taken to the National Assembly is to bridge the gap between now up till the end of the year. And so it is something that has been looked into. And then, of course, going forward is the project that we are embarked on right now to ensure that we have a good, workable, medium-term expenditure framework, and of course the 2016 budget. And so these are not things that anybody can predict with 100% certainty, but then you need to do as much of your homework as possible to ensure that you eliminate as much of the risks as possible.
So what palliatives would the federal government be introducing to cushion the effect of this shortfall?
You know, the social welfare aspect of the policy thrust of this administration. It has been in the news, and they intend to begin some of it next year. The school feeding program, the graduate internship program, and also the things to do with the agricultural sector, which are not necessarily welfareist, but these are ways to absorb some of the unemployment situation.
Before we wind down on this conversation, in terms of planning, how do you intend to bring maximum compliance to this proposed harmonized budget?
That's simple. Goodwill, self-discipline of the two helmsmen at the top. And like I hear them say, the fear of Buhari is the beginning of wisdom. And you can see even from the body language, when they first came on board, there were remarkable changes in the area of power and fuel. Even though now you have some cues that are back, and I think it all has to do with the oil marketers flexing their muscles a bit to make sure they are paid their subsidy.
Malam Aliyu Gusau, thank you very much for joining us on this episode of Question Time, and thank you indeed for giving us so much insight into what to expect in the proposed 2016 budget and also the short-term supplementary budget. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much. It has been nice meeting you.
And that's as much as we can take in this episode of Question Time. You may also send us your comments on our different social media platforms showing on your screen. Join us next week on another exciting episode of the program on Question Time on Channels Television. Many thanks for watching. I'm Benga Ashiru saying goodbye.